Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And it is the 4th. I have awoken, and like I said, we would have the skill preview for SOUKA at 4 a.m., which we definitely got at 4 a.m. However, looks like new intern-kun messed up a bit because the English version has a skill preview, and the JP version has a different skill preview. So we actually know both of her skills. And that, generally isn't supposed to happen. We're only supposed to get the same image with the same skill teaser. But thank you, Intern-kun, for promptly fucking up, and I pray that your death is swift and painless. So, let's go over and do this. So this is the one we got for English. So, it says that increases all... Okay, let's open just a new tab. There we go. Alright, here we go. There we go. Oh, super big. Okay. So one, look at this beautiful woman. Anyways, let's admire some personality. Anyways, first skill increases all allies' attack by 20% for one turn. Straight across the board, 20% attack buff, and it costs 25 points. That's pretty good. It's not limited to anybody, and it's cheap. Right, and this team needs cheap skill points, cheap buffs. I did think that she was going to get an attack buff or a magic buff. We got the attack buff, and it's cheaper than what Light Milim is doing. But then there's a condition down here: additional 5% increase based on number of Goddess of Destiny and World of Fantasy battle characters for a max of 25%, which means that assuming and reading this, if you have a full team of either Goddess of Destiny or World of Fantasy, you get another 25%, which means this is actually a 45% attack buff for everybody. Now, everybody being, subjective to the people on the force, because they kind of have to be there to give it that max potential. But, she counts for it, right? So that's automatically 25%. Right? Because she's a battle character. She's on Goddess of Destiny, so that's 5% right there. So it's actually a 25% attack buff across the board if you're using her. So keep that in mind. Also, Shuna, right? The DPS unit, also on Goddess of Destiny, so it's a 30% buff, because I don't know why you would use her without Shuna if you have them both. So technically it's already 30% for 25 points, right? A max of 45% attack for 25 points, if you're running the whole thing, that's pretty good. That's really cheap. Light Milim is 45% attack and a 30% light resistance down, but that's 55 points. I mean, you can use this twice and it'll still be cheaper than that. So, I'm pretty okay with this. Now, the one thing that I want to, be... what is this? What am I speculative about? Is based on number of Goddess of Destiny and World of Fantasy Force characters. Now, there are some gacha games where these kinds of conditions come out, and based on how it's worded, it can either mean one buff for one character, period, or if you have one character on both forces, they double up the buff. So, if we go with that theory, then, Shion, right? Shion and this SOUKA are both on Goddess of Destiny and World of Fantasy. So, with that side logic, she's actually giving 10% by herself, right? Because she's on Goddess of Destiny and World of Fantasy. And then Shion will give another 10%, so that's already 40%. Then you would only need one more character to give that an extra 5. Will it actually work like that? Probably not, because they want you to run a full meta team, and I don't think they would be that nice, but it is an interesting thing to keep in the back of your head, and we will most definitely test that to make sure it is correct or not. But, this is the first time we've ever got a condition kind of like this. It's always been more physical characters, just straight up, she could have been so much worse, right? She could have been increases all eyes attack, or only Gods of Destiny or World of Fantasy characters, which wouldn't really be that great, because, Shuna needs an attack buff, but Bride Shion has a 30% attack buff already, right? Fantasy Milim already has an attack buff. So most of the characters on these forces already have a personal buff, except Shuna. So if you were to limit it to those two forces, much, much worse. But the fact that it's everybody and then gets stronger with more of those characters, that's actually really good, and I do enjoy that, and it's a low-cost skill. I'm pretty happy with that. Her AoE, her ult is an AoE, which, oh well. We knew she was going to be a support unit, so that's not really anything to be too upset about. 300% damage up to 600, right? And then decreases defense by 10% for 2 turns, which actually can work out if you're sending, 24 orbs of buffed ass Shuna within these 2 turns. So that this will help you do additional damage, which is what everyone wants to do. Now, obviously, this has skill 1 announced in game, cost ? But this is the English one. The JP one has skill 1 for a 40 cost and skill 2 for 25 announced in game. So, thank you Intern, and thank you Google Translate, because this is what she does. So, the skill 1, cost of 40, converts all magic souls dealt to the hand into skill magic souls for 1 turn, and increases the damage power of all skill magic souls by 25% for 2 turns. So what this means is that she can take an entire hand of crappy nerfed blues in that beatdown battle and 2 ults, and she will become the Hero 2.0 on crack, right? Because the Hero 2.0, let's go find her real fast. She converts 1 ultimate orb into a green, right? With the skill. Changes 1 Soul of Combos times 1 into Soul of Green, Soul of Skills, and then increases gauge by 10%. SOUKA converts all orbs, all magic souls dealt to the hand, which includes ults, because they are dealt to the hand, right? Into greens. Full hand of green, automatically, 40 points. You have terrible RNG, you have a full hand of nerf blues or oranges that you don't really want, because they don't give you a lot of skill points. They're all greens now. Congratulations. And then on top of that, it buffs their damage by 25% for 2 turns. Great. So, I mean, you can run the... where'd she go? You could run the hero and get the 50% damage for 1 turn, right? You could use this on a really crappy turn, you get really bad RNG, and you're like, alright, well, next turn, we're going to get points back, right? And then we're going to get extra damage for 25% for 1 of those turns. Next turn, when we get all these points, because maybe we have Mirren, maybe we don't have Mirren active, then we can use the big time buff for the hero, and Shuna's attack buff, and then SOUKA's other skill, and that's, 75 points right there, and you can probably make that back in a full send of greens, with or without Mirren buffing them. I think this is a really, really good unit, right? She's got, she's got her attack buff, which is universal, technically, which will just get stronger. And then she's got her, let's convert everything to greens. Everything. I don't care what you have. It's all green now. I think SOUKA is a really, really, really good character. Now, we don't know anything else about her. Her ult is still the same down here. So she's still on Goddess of Fate. This is Wholehearted Devotion, which is a terrible category. And then World of Fantasy. Now, based on this information, do I think that she is worth summoning for? And to that, I would still probably caution most players to maybe skip. It does seem really good. Like, the attack buff, cool, but if you don't have any Gods of Destiny or fantasy characters, it's gonna always be 25% technically with her. And then the whole hand of greens, like, very, very good skill, but I don't think it's so important you need to send your 600 crystals on this banner for a chance and a prayer and a hope. So I still think that people who are on the fence with this meta, who are not overly impressed with Mirren, they should probably not really feel too pressured to get SOUKA. We still don't know what her protection trait is, or her valor trait, whatever that can be. But this is the unit right here. So this is what we're summoning for. And if you're not sold, then don't be. You don't have to summon for her. You can keep on saving for hopefully whatever special project comes next month. You can keep on saving for the 3rd banner unit when it comes next week, and then see if you like the entire team now that it's been laid out and this is how it's going to run, this is what it gets. Totally good options for you. But 1, it's Bride SOUKA. 2, I like her kit personally, which means that we will be summoning. And I mean, we were already going to summon last night when we found out it was going to be a Bride SOUKA. But, I mean, these skills make me like her even more. She is a support, but we already knew that she was going to be a support unit. I had no delusions that she was going to be some kind of DPS unit, right? Shuna can handle that by herself. She will definitely help out this team as it runs right now. And then as far as her other skills are concerned, you're not really going to use her on the Frey team because she's already converting all of your orbs to greens anyways. And you're probably going to use the Hero 2.0 on that team as well. But, I mean, you can use her instead of Hero 2.0 if you didn't summon for her, and you do summon for SOUKA. She'll accomplish almost the same thing. You'll do a little bit less damage, because, you know, Milim already has an attack buff that's higher, technically. But actually, yeah, actually, it would be the same if you, no, it'd be higher, because you'd have World of Fantasy characters. I mean, I don't really think she'd have a solid spot on World of Fantasy. You could very easily swap her out. And then Goddess of Destiny, like, yeah, this team. If you want to use her with Bride Xion on, like, Light 2.0, she's already got her own attack buff. I don't really see it. So, I don't know if she's going to have too much use outside of the meta. You can definitely put her in places, just like you can put any unit in certain places, and they should run okay. It's just that I think there will be other units that can do a little bit better than her, that would take up, you know, that 4th or 5th slot on most other teams. But that's just me. So there we go. We have her pretty much full kit. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of her. I personally am pretty impressed with what they've done with, you know, relatively low-cost skills. And yeah, I'm super excited to summon tonight. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. But that's it for me, and I'll see you guys in 7, 8, 9-ish hours.